All right, back on the Young Turks. We're going to try a new segment today. I'm thinking of calling him Malcolm Y as opposed to Malcolm X. I said Malcolm Y. Malcolm Fleschner is a columnist in the San Francisco area. And from time to time we'll ask him questions. And, you know, we've been following these birthers. And today actually there's breaking news on the birthers. Esquire magazine indicates that Orly Taitz, if that's how you say it, and probably isn't, is saying that Obama, she's the mama birther, Obama is going to set up labor camps and cause a bloody revolution. I don't know why he would need a bloody revolution since he already rules the country. But, okay, so that's Orly Taitz for you. I think Malcolm's got more on her. But, Malcolm, welcome to the show. How are you, man?
Thanks for having me, Cenk. I'm doing great.
All right, we appreciate you coming on. So you're looking into all these disputed claims and counterclaims and assessing all the evidence. What have you found?
Well, Cenk, I know this may come as a shock to your viewers, but based on the research that I've done, I've concluded that indeed there actually is a huge conspiracy afoot to hide the truth about Obama's birth.
Really? So you're telling me what, Obama was born in Kenya or something?
No, not Kenya, no. Of course not. Don't be ridiculous. No, the conspiracy I'm talking about is the truth about who is behind the birthers. The one person who, from the beginning, has masterminded the whole plot to suggest that Barack Obama is not a natural-born citizen. And that person is Barack Obama himself.
All right, that's interesting, Malcolm. So Obama's behind this whole birther movement?
That's right. It's all part of his master plan to marginalize his political opponents by depicting them as a bunch of wild-eyed lunatics. And I have to say, hats off to him. He almost pulled it off.
This is quite an accusation, Malcolm. So what's your proof on this?
Well, Cenk, the evidence is overwhelming. Now, first of all, we all know about Obama's well-earned reputation as a political chess master who's always 3 steps ahead of his opponents. So it fits with what we already know about him. And he clearly understands that as long as he can keep the right-wingers focused on looking all over Kenya and Indonesia and in search of the lost city of Atlantis just to find any scrap of paper with the words Barack Obama and birth certificate on it, they'll be too busy to organize to fight his agenda. I mean, have you listened to the actual birthers themselves? You were mentioning that Orly Taitz, the lawyer slash dentist slash realtor slash ambassador from Planet Zorgon, who's been leading this alleged campaign to prove that Obama was born in Kenya. But to me, she looks like a cross between Barbara Mandrell and Edward Scissorhands. And with that crazy accent, she sounds like the female version of Triumph the Insult Dog. The whole time I was watching her appearance with David Schuster on MSNBC, I kept expecting her to tell him, "You have a great show, David, for me to poop on." But, so there's no way that the Republicans, people like Karl Rove, who have actual political instincts, would put this woman in charge of this movement. It just doesn't make any sense. It could only have been orchestrated by Obama himself. But the real giveaway is that this woman's first name, Orly, O-R-L-Y, also just happens to be internet shorthand for "oh, really." It's a cute touch, and I suspect a wink to Obama's more web-savvy supporters. And then there's all the supposed evidence the birthers used to prove that Obama wasn't born in Hawaii. His Kenyan step-grandmother who misspoke and said that she had been present for his birth, the mysteriously blacked-out ID number on his Hawaiian short-form birth certificate, and then the release of one after another easily debunkable Kenyan birth certificates. It's all just a little too perfect, and it smacks of a coordinated campaign designed specifically to draw in stupid, gullible people. And the genius part is, all those right-wing nutjobs who think they're looking behind the curtain and exposing Obama, they're actually doing his bidding for him. And the longer he can keep this up, the better it is for him and for the Democrats.
All right, so you're telling me that Obama's not releasing his long-form birth certificate and telling people that he's born in Hawaii just to keep this thing going?
No. Because Obama wasn't really born in Hawaii.
Really?
He only chose to claim to be from Hawaii because that's the most foreign and suspicious sounding of the 50 states to the dimwits who fall for this sort of thing. The reason he won't release his long-form birth certificate is because it will prove that he was actually born in Parsippany, New Jersey. He has no more an African father than the Olsen twins do. His real parents, it turns out, for many years ran a bowling alley and are now retired in South Carolina somewhere, I believe. Which leads to another interesting tidbit I found out about him. Contrary to what we may have been led to believe during the presidential campaign, Obama is actually a really good bowler. But the whole Kenya thing was trumped up as a campaign strategy to help him seem exotic but still approachable to most of the American public. Or maybe you just think it's the coincidence that the letters in Barack Hussein Obama can be rearranged to spell out risky black hokum man.
Is that really true? That doesn't really sound true. Is that true?
It's pretty close.
Okay. All right, well, this is quite a bombshell you dropped on us, Malcolm.
It's not even the half of it, Cenk. This thing goes much deeper. I believe that Obama has been behind every recent right-wing misstep that has painted the Republican Party as a virtual Chex mix of lunatics, racists, xenophobes, and douchebags. And that includes the idiotic Tea Party movement, John McCain's inexplicable choice of Sarah Palin as his running mate, and, of course, the Glenn Beck show. I mean, look at all these sex scandals. Are we really supposed to believe that women all over the globe are throwing themselves at married Republican elected officials because people like Mark Sanford and John Ensign are just so damn sexy? Come on.
All right, well, that's quite something. Well,
and another thing, Obama is also in cahoots with Vladimir Putin to keep global warming going. Yeah, they both want the planet to keep getting hotter so they'll have more opportunities to go around shirtless. I mean, look at it this way. It's no coincidence that Al Gore only really started fighting climate change when he gained all that weight and began developing man boobs.
That's an interesting theory, Malcolm. I got to give it to you.
Well, you know what they say. Simplest execution is always the best.
All right, Malcolm Fleschner. Thanks for being on the Young Turks. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
All right. All right, that's Malcolm Y for you for the moment being. That's the name I just randomly gave it.